Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time, we're in keeping with Halloween spooky month of October. This isn't, well, it's a little on the spooky side. I want to take a look at this issue of Golden Age Mystery Men, number 1 from AC Comics from 1996. Now, I've talked about showing AC Comics before and talked about their reprinting of Golden Age comics. Here they have Mystery Men, and they also had some more frequently shown stuff about their westerns. And but this what we're here to talk about isn't actually a Mystery Man character. In previous years, I've talked about Man Thing and Swamp Thing, and so we're gonna take a look at the granddaddy of them all, the Heap. And I'll show you the Heap. First of all, I'm gonna show you this cover drawing. It's actually a wraparound. We're going to see the whole thing, done by Bill Black, who was a mainstream comic artist and been one of the forces behind AC Comics. And here we have a wraparound cover, and there on the back is the Heap, and I'll turn it upside down so that you can see it better. And this big creepy looking walking haystack is the Heap. And there's one Heap story in here. And this cover illustration is reference to a 2-page text story inside here involving all these characters. The Black Terror, Mr. Crimson, Phantom Lady, and Phantom Lady again, and the Avenger, and the Heap, and that has a text story which revolves around the Heap. The Heap. The Heap is the name of a fictional comic book muck monster, the conceptual grandfather of Man Thing and Swamp Thing. And his first appearance was in the Hillman periodical's Air Fighters Comics number 3 in 1942 in the Golden Age. And he was the first comic book swamp monster. And he was created by Harry Stein and Mort Leave. They have been, or might have been, Liev. There have been several imitators by various publishers, and the character was revived by Eclipse Comics in 1986. The Heap was formerly German World War I flying ace Baron Erich von Emmelmann, who was shot down in 1918 over a Polish swamp, and with the aid of a personified Mother Nature, his decaying body mingled with vegetation to eventually reform as a shambling muck creature. He turned on his fellow Germans after they embraced Nazism, then wandered the globe and nearly mindlessly giving aid where it could against more malevolent monsters. So he's just kind of no real intelligence, a life force, shambling around and kind of instinctively doing good, kind of like Swamp Thing. I mean, the Man Thing later. Okay, so this is a short. It's only a 7-page story, and there's only one in here. But it is, and most of this the stories that they reprint, they list the writers and artists when known. There's none listed here, so we don't know who wrote it and etc. Well, it starts here on a ship filled with film people from Hollywood, with Lon Calypso as makeup master. It's kind of like Lon Chaney, a combination of Lon Chaney Jr. and Sr. And here he is appearing it as his most famous character, the Wild Man, which is kind of like the Wolfman, the Wild Man. And for some photos, but they're headed someplace to make a movie, and on this. Stowed away up on the ship is the Heap, because he somehow knows where they're going, and he has a mission to perform. He looks out as they approach the Danish coast. It's the mad Danish Baroness at Black Tower on this island off the Danish coast, which is where they're going to film the movie and where the Heap is going. And here we see the Baroness herself, and she is some kind of evil entity, evil being. They get there, but they've arranged to use the castle for their film making. She introduces herself, takes them in, and feeds them, and because things have all been arranged. And she's startled when they say something about a monster. A monster? She's startled, and we'll see why later. And she has taken a liking to Lon in his normal human guise, and wants him to stay and become her husband, and yada yada yada. So he turns her down, and she is angry. So she goes down into the depths, and she releases, "Go, you brute, go and kill," because he is in love with the lady co-star. And here's an actual wild man who looks just like Lon as the Wild Man. And because of the storm brewing up, they want to get some shots. So quickly have Lon go don his monster gear. And there's the Heap. He enters, and then all the electricity goes out. It's darkness because of the storm. And then the lights come back on, and there's the Wild Man, and they think it's Lon. And then they see the Heap. They don't know what to make of him. Then the monster goes for the director, and the Wild Man goes for the director, and then the Heap follows afterwards, and it's a battle between the Heap and the Wild Man. Now today, this whole story could have taken a couple of issues, and probably should, instead of just 7 pages. It just seems kind of like a brief outline, and it's the Heap, and they're fighting. He was actually there to help save the Wild Man, because the Wild Man was someone who was a friend of his, friendly to him, and he was transformed into this monster. But now he's under the thrall of the Baroness. And there she goes, "Lon, look out behind you, Lon." There's the Wild Man going after Lon, and the Heap intervenes, and he picks up the Wild Man. Picks up the Wild Man and hurls him right into the Baroness, and they both go over the side, down to the rocks below. And then the movie director said, the creator of colossal horror films have just witnessed the most fantastic horror story of all time, and I haven't got an inch of it on film. So, and here's the prose story about the Heap. And that is what we've got for Golden Age Mystery Men. Featuring the Heap, the granddaddy of swamp muck monsters in comics. And thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment what you thought of the Heap. I'll probably use this or one of my other Golden Age Mystery Men issues for some actual Mystery Men in the future. And that's all I've got to remember. Leave a comment, and comics are art.